I know I could have stayed silent about this whole situation and kept my thoughts to myself, but I feel like Simona Halep herself is forcing my hand to call out her hypocrisy. Cause this hero's welcome that she's receiving, the whole I'm just a victim act that she's portraying is getting annoying. I vividly remember when Maria Sharapova was banned from the sport for using meldonium, a pharmaceutical that was developed by Latvian Ivar Skalmic, so as a Latvian myself I can assure you that every other household in Latvia and its neighboring countries had this supposed drug at their disposal and it had no negative stigma around it, so the sudden inclusion of meldonium as a performance enhancing drug felt surprising. And I'm not saying that I felt bad for Maria or anything, but I remember that so many media outlets blew this whole thing out of proportion, and I remember that players were also very confrontational towards Sharapova. They were saying that dopers shouldn't be allowed to come back to the sport, or if they were allowed to, then no wildcards, no preferential treatment should be issued to those dopers. And now guess who was at the tippity top of those players who relentlessly called out Maria? It was Simona Halep, the same Simona Halep who got a wild card in Miami, the same Simona Halep who didn't take any accountability for what happened, cause apparently Muratoglu was the evil mastermind behind all of this, even though none of his previous players had any problems with doping. The same Simona Halep who now apparently stopped thinking about the kids that are about to be impacted by dopers playing on the big stages. Let me remind you, Simona wasn't cleared of any wrongdoing, she still had performance enhancing drugs in her system. Her suspension was shortened because she proved that doping happened because of contamination. And I'm not saying that proving that is easy, but for example, Yastremska claimed that her positive test happened due to contamination after having sex. And it actually worked, so make of that what you will, and I salute Caroline Wozniacki for standing 10 toes down and saying the same thing that players were saying 8 years ago. But of course she was called out for it by people who support someone who changed her opinion when it benefited her, so it's not surprising. Listen, I have no problem with Simona or any all-time great receiving wild cards during their return to the tour after suspension. It's understandable, and I hope that she'll have a fruitful, doping-free comeback to the sport, but I just want people to acknowledge the fact that she is not a hero. She didn't courageously beat the system, she's just being a hypocrite right now, and we all sometimes do that, but we shouldn't be praised for it. That's all I'm saying. What are your thoughts on this whole saga? Comment your thoughts down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, take it easy, my friend.